and we are live with the present show today. And this is Lele. You see, and let me show you Mindful Pat immediately. Here it is.
Hello, everyone. Hey, hey.
So, Pat,
Ciao,
happy
ciao.
to have you here. And our guest of today, she's still somehow on the highway. Hopefully, she's gonna come or she's not gonna come, but that doesn't matter because the present show is every single Monday. So in case we don't have our guest this week, we will have next week, right? But
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
at one point. Important is that we have our time where we can talk about mindfulness. So Elizabeth, in case you wanna come, please come in. We are happy to have you here. Otherwise, come anytime future and tell about, because she has actually a very interesting topic about being a consciousness coach, and we will talk about consciousness in that time. So that was very nice. How was the week, Pat? All good?
It was great.
So how many mindful times every day, every moment, every second? How can you summarize your week in under the light? Let me turn on the light of mindfulness.
It was very nice because I got to practice with my own practitioners here in Poland. The weather was great, so we did a lot of our practices outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I held 3 global calls. So I had people from around the world, and all of us were practicing together. And it's people from South Africa, from China, from Canada, from all over Europe. And it's nice to see 20, 30 people on a Zoom like this, and we're all practicing together and sharing. So it was
But
good.
this is actually a new thing that we didn't experience. I mean, of course, that mindfulness is something that exists since Buddhist tradition, as we learned last time with from Federico, right? So that was the practice of mindfulness comes from Buddhist tradition, and they thought how to do it, let's say. But before you had, a guru or somebody that was helping you locally. Now we can do it totally virtually. That is, there are applications that you can download so that you can actually practice mindfulness there. You can look at the present show, you can read a book, so it's a completely different kind of experience, right?
Yeah, it's amazing this ability to connect with people from around the whole world and share experiences, because like Lele was saying before, you had to travel to some far distant land and practice under this guru, and now interacting with the people. And for me, the most valuable time is afterwards, is people sharing their thoughts, their feelings, their interpretations of everything that just happened. Because I could spend my whole life by myself meditating in a room practicing mindfulness, but if I never share it, and I don't, you understand it best by sharing it, by teaching it to others, by the interactions that you have with others. So technology
Because I
is
think that the problem is also that you might have different depths when you are doing the practice, and somebody's experiencing the same thing as you, while somebody else, maybe the trainer or the coach, didn't experience the same. So this is what I understand is the benefit, right? So to have more point of view, so might one is connected to yours.
exactly. I think I said
That
this before, so stop me if I have already. But
yeah.
I had people that would come and they would say, Patrick, I don't get it. This mindfulness practice, this is just, I can't stop my mind. It's just going. I can't relax. I'm not focused. I don't get it. And I said, don't worry, this will pass. This will change. A few weeks, few months later, oh, I'm so relaxed. It's so blissful. I'm feeling relaxed and calm. I got it. And I say, no, 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 don't worry. This too shall change. This too shall pass. So it's a
So you can have great moments, you can have worse, but it's all about the journey and the practice, right? And it's very interesting to know that the more you practice, the more your like the gray matter of that are in your brain about stress that are reactive to stress are actually shrinking, and the gray matter for attention and focus are growing, right? This is the practice about, and it comes just by you thinking that you are aware and focusing on what is happening around you. uh, and that's good. I'm experiencing the same as if I'm from the less experience side, I would say I'm just low practice. I'm trying, but I really just started, not like the mindful Pat that has. When did you start mindfulness, Pat? How many years ago?
I was 11 or 12 when I first got introduced to it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was times in my life where I was practicing more and practicing less. So maybe like steady, constant practice, 5 years now, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. But I wanted to
That's
say something on what you were saying with the gray matter. It's just like if you want to get big biceps, right? You go and you keep working out the bicep until it gets bigger. So it's the same thing with the practice. It takes time for the brain to rewire itself. And you also have to think that if you're rewiring the brain, that means there's neurological connections that will break.
Mm-hmm.
Means literally those connections aren't getting any resources, any nutrients, anything for their development. So they're literally dying off. And what happens when something is dying? It fights for survival, right? It'll scream, it'll be loud. That's why it's so difficult to break habits or change, is because as those neurological connections are breaking, they're fighting for it. They're convincing you, no, come back to us. Keep thinking the way you were thinking. Keep doing what you were doing. Don't leave us behind. So I'm happy.
So that's why practicing is important. So like to not stop practicing, let's say. So otherwise you can lose. Like you lose muscular mass while you're not going to the gym anymore. Yeah. That's the hard reality, right? We cannot stop doing good things we want to do for our mind, our body, but it's actually good to take care of everything that we are doing, it comes through our mind. So if we at least train it, then it's good. I had actually a question for you, right? I was the other day, I went to the swimming pool, right? That's what I was experience. So I said, it's a normal day, it's hot outside, let's go to the swimming pool. And then I was observing around, and there was a moment where I was in the pool swimming, and I tried to be as mindful as possible. And I found it really hard because I realized by observing around that my mind started judging around, started, everybody that I saw, could be a lady, could be a man, could be a child or whatever. I immediately put these people in the box. No, beautiful, ugly, slim, fat, or whatever. So these were part was the stereotype. So, this kind of shortcut that we were in the brain, but part of it was just a simple judgment. And I found it that it was really like pointless waste of mind energy, because I couldn't then focus on my son that was running around and something like this. So does it happen also to you, or do you have any solutions where how can I be more mindful and less like removing the judgment from my practice?
There's a great saying, judgment tells me more about you than it does about that person.
Mm-hmm.
As you were saying, it is a mental shortcut. It becomes, our brain has limited amount of resources and time, so we make shortcuts based on our past experiences, based on what we were taught. So the tip or the trick would be to become more aware of when you start judging them. Because when you're experiencing somebody coming and you start thinking already, then you're out of this present moment, because you start associating thoughts with them. So the trick is to become aware of them as soon as possible. Acknowledge that you're judging it. Don't say, oh, Lele, why are you judging again? And create this negative reaction, but be open to it. Oh, I was judging. Great. My mind's working great. I'm curious. Why was I judging? But come back to the beautiful, sight of your son playing in the water, or feel the water, or notice your breath, or the temperature that are around you, or the sounds you hear. But the trick is, you can't stop judgments completely, but you can limit your reaction to them, or you can focus so much on the connectedness that you have with the people,
Mm-hmm.
be open to them with the heart, acknowledge that they all, we're all one. We all have problems. We all have love. We all want love, and connect on that level. And then you see that the judgments go down, right? So it takes time and practice, but you're already there because you're catching yourself. If you think most of us just judge and aren't even aware of it,
So like just the fact that while you realize it, it's already something that is a part of the practice, let's say. So it is not that you are failing if you keep having, you are lost in thought or you start judging around if you realize you're doing it. Okay. So that's good, because I thought I was really, like that it was so hard. Like, okay, now let's try to focus on the now, then you see something else, then you see something, and you find yourself totally lost, and then you come back, but after some minutes or after some seconds, but still you feel bad about that you cannot control your flow.
Yeah. Think about all the time lost, right? Because you'll think, oh, look at that person. Oh, they're overweight. And then why are they overweight? Oh, maybe they went over there. And then you start thinking, oh, maybe I'm overweight. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. What am I going to eat later? And then a minute or two later, and you're like, whoa, where was I? Where was I? Yeah.
When the
So
autopilot switches off. Yeah.
but, one more thing, cause and effect. So
Mm-hmm.
you see your child smiling. What is your reaction? You usually smile back, right?
Yeah.
You see a beautiful sunrise, you smile, right? So think about it that way. If the cause is a person, our reaction is a judgment. If you could go in between that judgment to form a different reaction. So every time you see a person, instead of judging them, say in your mind, for example, I love you, or I respect you, or I want the best for you. Think about that. Then you'll stop the judgment, because that will be the first thing that happens. So we have a cause and a reaction. You come in between that, in between your judgment, right? You could practice it that way.
Okay, so that's interesting. Actually, instead of just reminding myself on coming back, I try to put, let's say, like an antivirus judgment in the middle
Yes.
that is on the positive side, so that I can cause a positive reaction. Okay.
Like a firewall or something. Yeah.
So is it time for our mindful minute?
Yeah.
That's good.
So based on what we were just talking about, let's sit back, get comfortable, eyes open, eyes closed. You can do this when you're in the pool. You can do this while you're driving or at work, wherever. You could think about someone that you care about deeply in your life. Someone that you love, someone that's close to you. And just become aware of any thoughts or feelings that are associated with that person. And that person, just like you, cries for love and gives love. They have goals and dreams, fears and hopes, just like you do. And now think about somebody in your life that you have more difficulties with, more conflict, or it's just more hard to interact with them. Notice any thoughts or feelings that arise. And this person also cries for love and gives love, has hopes and fears, just like you. So when you're ready, you could come back. It's all in our mind.
It's all in our mind. So we are the responsible of our feelings, right? So whatever we feel, it only comes from us. It's not the others that make us angry. We make us angry, and we make us loving. So this is part of it. It's always nice to be on the present show, Pat.
Thank
Always
you.
glad to be here. So now I would say thank you a lot. Thank you guys for it also this week. So Elizabeth, we will see each other at one point in one of the next The Present show. Thank you as well for watching. Remember, you can always watching us live by clicking here, ibm.b/depression show, or you can use ibm.b/depression show for all the playlist of the previous episode as well. As always, thank you, Pat. See you in the next week show in 1 week from now. Thank you again. And be mindful because last word from you, Pat.
Because that's all there is. This present. Enjoy it. Have
Ciao.
fun. Ciao.